Re-rated simply by the quality of real estate stock they create and how well is that stock delivered. This hard truth is well captured in the insightful PropEquity report on top 10 cities in the Indian real estate market. Today in the Realty Debate, we bring you the facts. Which Indian city tops the list on resilience to the present market downturn and promises to lead the way for real estate growth in India? Which were the toppers 5 years ago, who have now been displaced, and why have they lost their ranking? Welcome everyone to the Realty Debate on top 10 cities in the Indian real estate market. With me today, Sanjay Dutt, Executive Managing Director, South Asia, Cushman & Wakefield; Ritesh Vora, Partner Real Estate, IDFC Alternatives; Raj Menda, Corporate Chairman, RMZ Corp; Pankaj Bajaj, MD, Eldeco Infrastructure Properties; and Sameer Jasuja, Founder and MD of PropEquity, the man behind this report. We also have with us Sujay Kalele, CEO of Kolte Patil, joining us on the show. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming in. I think before we start the debate, I must actually highlight some of the facts revealed. Now, India's top 10 cities. No surprises that Bangalore or Bengaluru has emerged as India's most attractive and bankable city. So, bankable is a key word here. Bangalore also takes the lion's share in primary sales, with yearly sales clocking a figure of 36,000 crore rupees. Now, what has happened to Mumbai? The financial capital has lost its sheen, slipped to 8th ranking from the top spot in 2009. A similar report of PropEquity, same parameters, Mumbai topped the list. So, in 5 years, the financial capital has lost its sheen. Demand in the National Capital Region, again a hot market for real estate, suffered a massive decline of 53% in the last 2 years. The fourth key finding, the Western region alone accounts for more than 45% of the total 7.6 lakh of unsold stock amongst the 14 cities considered for this report. So, West of course is all of MMR, Mumbai region, which includes Navi Mumbai and Thane and Pune. But the Pune market of course has withstood this downturn much better. NCR's unsold stock is also nothing to write home about. This stock will take more than 50 months to clear. So, these are some of the numbers which are actually looking fairly astounding. Bengaluru climbed 5 positions to number 1. Chennai gained 2 spots and has reached the 3rd spot. Hyderabad, that's a market we've been saying is the dark horse, is up 6 spots to reach 4th position. Ahmedabad has also climbed 3 slots to the 5th ranking. Kolkata notched up 2 ranks higher, and Navi Mumbai 3 spots higher. I'm just going to cite out this last statistics before I go to the Q&A session and the debate. Mumbai slipped 7 rankings, as I've already said, to fall to 8th position in 2015 vis-a-vis the top position in 2009. Thane fell down from 3rd to 6th. NOIDA slipped from 4th to 11th. NOIDA, I'm surprised, was actually ahead because we were not doing this show in 2009. It was actually ahead of Gurgaon. Gurgaon toppled from 7th to 10th. So, the first question I think I'm going to throw to Sameer Jasuja. Bangalore has left behind both Mumbai and Gurgaon. Gurgaon specifically, Sameer, your favorite market, but you're not, there are no surprises there, isn't it? For the last 2 years, we've been seeing this transition of quality real estate to Bangalore.
Absolutely, Manisha, and I think this is primarily driven by what's been happening in the last 2 years in the real estate markets, where economy still not finding any ground of revival except that of the IT sector, which is continuing to do well and continuing to acquire commercial real estate, which acts as a lead indicator to residential real estate. Second big reason for NCR to have slipped was because of investor-driven sales mostly happening in the NCR region, and Bangalore, on the contrary, is an end-user market with fewer investors and dependence on monies coming in from end-users and investors very limited. Most of the units in Bangalore get sold after the project is completed, which is a very big fact. So, developers in the South region have shown that they are not, they execute very well, they do smaller projects and are not dependent on cash flows from end users or consumers. Lastly, I would say that confidence of the consumers has got eroded in the NCR region because of execution delays, excessive demand-supply mismatch, pricing going up unabated, irrespective of oversupply in the market. These are some of the factors that have led to the South region claiming the first spot for the first time. And looks like they're going to be there on the top for some time to come.
All right, so let's look at that big factor which has got NCR to slip. Bangalore has taken a lead in project completion with more than 500 projects getting completed in 2014, up 50% from 2013. Pune's end-user driven market proudly follows Bangalore in taking the second spot when it comes to giving house owners or buyers possession. The two other southern cities, Chennai and Hyderabad, also feature in the top 5. MMR's 3 cities don't make it to the top 5. They take the 6th, 7th and 8th position, and NCR lies at the bottom of the barrel. All 5 markets. Sanjay Dutt, I mean, this is a wake-up call, isn't it, for NCR developers?
So true. I mean, everybody is familiar with the over-speculative NCR market. And also, because it's a combination of 3 markets, basically NOIDA, Faridabad, and Gurgaon and Delhi. Actually, Faridabad, a lot of people miss almost 4 markets. So because of the issues in NOIDA, which is oversupply, too much of land, too much of speculation, and likewise in Gurgaon and all the way to Manesar and beyond, and maybe the too much of price increase while nothing really on the ground was happening, and almost similar impact on the office side. A lot of vacancy, not enough absorption, infrastructure catching up, but taking time to catch up. And while there's still issues of water and electricity, law and order, and all those kind of issues really took a toll in NCR as a market. But I'm hoping, given the size of the market, given that it's a strategic hub for the entire North India, the fact that there will be some delivery, there will be some good developers who actually focus on execution. And if you see, Godrej very recently actually launched a project in NCR market and actually did pretty well on the sales side, which kind of reflects that if you have a credible developer who has the credibility of execution and delivery, you can actually perform in even a difficult market such as NCR. So there's some takeaways and learnings for developers and investors in NCR.
Okay, fair enough. Ritesh Vora, the rankings as we see them, no surprises there at all, or are you somewhat surprised by at least some of the cities' ranking?
Not really, actually. See, there are some fundamental reasons why the cities are ranked the way they are. If you look at the cities which are ranked in the top 5, 6, essentially you're talking about cities where there is a reasonable amount of economic activity, there is good level of infrastructure, if not fully developed, then catching up. And thirdly, I think the real estate market dynamics in terms of supply, demand, as well as absorption and pricing have been reasonably stable. I think those are some fundamental factors why the attractiveness from a real estate perspective is being ranked the way it is. And to be honest, seeing Hyderabad or a Bangalore or a Pune there, right at the top is not something that really comes as a surprise.
Okay, so let's go to the Bangalore developer who must be, I'm surprised Rajmenda is not smiling wider, or I think Bangalore developers have just got so used to being at the top that they don't find it at all surprising. So Rajmenda, I mean, so I think the panelists have summed up some of the facts, but what according to you has actually put Bangalore at the top spot?
Okay, I think 2 things. One is I find that a lot of qualified professionals are choosing Bangalore to come and stay. So once it offers a good job stability. Just so that last year Bangalore did 50% of the national office absorption at about 12 million square feet, which means approximately 1 lakh new jobs got created. And out of this, most of these 1 lakh direct jobs that got created are from qualified professionals who come out of colleges and can get a home on rent to start with at very, very reasonable and affordable prices. As simple as, shelling out 4,000 to 5,000 rupees a month. You can get into a branded home from a branded, reputed developer as long as you share the home with a few friends. So actually, it's quite cheap. Home to work is easy. Climate is good. Most cosmopolitan city in India. And I can see that, at the current position, our estimates of more job creation because of next year's, increased office absorption means another lakh and 20,000 new jobs being created. There's no wonder these professionals can come and prefer to come to Bangalore to work out here because of the simple cosmopolitan nature. The other thing I also see is that in virtually about 3 to 4 years of an engineer who gets a job in these IT companies, he's able to afford, his first home, which was not the case in point very many years ago. Because the affordability of being able to buy a home is, the whole ecosystem works very well. So the prices are quite reasonable. The quality is excellent from all the Bangalore developers, which has historically been the success of this city. And the home to work distances are quite short. So, and the only thing the city needs to get on is the road infrastructure, which everybody complains about, and the suburban infrastructure, which has to get into place. And once that is done, I think the city is all set to roll for the next decade. And I won't be surprised if the next few years of PropMart's report will keep putting Bangalore on top of the heap all the time.
Is there a danger, Rajmendra? I'm going to come back to you. So you're saying this year office space was fabulous, the top amongst all cities. Next year, already you can see, or 2015, you can already see office absorption at great figures. But then we're all also beginning to see a downturn in IT, ITES. I mean, look at the numbers that have come out from the stable of Infosys or TCS. There is this whole talk about how they're facing immense and tremendous competition from some of the global best who are reinventing themselves much faster than Indian IT companies are. Is there a danger that this growth story you're talking about as a decade growth story going forward may actually get nipped earlier? Is there a plan that if beyond IT, ITES, what for Bangalore?
Two things. One is I feel that although some of the Indian companies are finding a lot of pressures from multinationals because the multinationals have got a taste of the outsourcing work into India. So they seem to be preferring to set their own offshore operations into India and able to scale it up. So and also I find a lot of e-commerce companies have chosen Bangalore as a hub for doing all their data processing. Now, that is a new way of what has happened in the last about 9 months, where all the e-commerce companies are choosing Bangalore as their hub for operation. So that is, to my mind, a sustained position. The unfortunate part for Bangalore is we do not have any industrialization happening in terms of industries in the city. So is there an alternative for IT? I'm afraid there isn't any. But do I see IT having a sunset in the near future? I can see it going further and further because I find a lot more technology getting into places which you had never dreamt of. In India, watering up plants was still done by a Mali. One day it will be done by some technology out of somewhere. And it will be controlled out of somewhere in Cochin where somebody will be operating your water pump from somewhere. So all that will be suddenly become so mechanical and technology driven, we will be surprised. So I'm a big believer that technology has a long way to go. And it'll just keep happening out of cities like Bangalore, which lead the way for a lot of innovation and a lot of outsourcing.
Okay. On the livability index now, Samir, step in here. There are now, we'll just stick to IT, ITS. There are, of course, we've got plenty of time to touch other big top cities, but livability factor or incubation is happening on technology front in both cities, Gurgaon and Bangalore. But somehow Bangalore seems to have or be considered as a more livable city. Why is that? I look at Gurgaon, there's enough infrastructure development happening there. We have a better metro, a better rapid metro coming up and highways or flyovers coming, yet Bangalore takes the lead. What's the problem?
A couple of reasons for that, Manisha. The first and foremost reason is that the quality of talent that is available in the software industry and the outsourcing industry seems to be better and more qualified in the south. Second, that Gurgaon has outpriced itself. Even from a livability standpoint of view, and I live in Gurgaon, Gurgaon is a city which is far more expensive than I would say even in Mumbai and Delhi. It's probably one of the most expensive cities to live in India today. Even drivers over there charge more than 15,000 to 20,000 rupees a month. Thirdly, that the office space, if you look at the commercial real estate development. Besides DLF, every developer has been so cash strapped that he's not been able to offer the right kind of commercial supply, and DLF has taken a substantial advantage of that. And if you look at the current rentals on the commercial market of grade A buildings, Gurgaon is more than twice that of Bangalore. So naturally, in a company which is cost sensitive, like especially IT and outsourcing companies, choose Bangalore as a much better destination. And that too is a tier 1 city. Gurgaon is still evolving into a tier 1 city.
I'm not so sure about the tier 1 factor, because I think there was a time just last year when even Anush Puri came on record and said Gurgaon will actually topple Mumbai as a financial capital.
Absolutely right.
Now it seems that you probably would have a Bangalore.
But it's going to take another 5 years.
All right. So let me get the NCR developer in, Pankaj Bajaj. You've been hearing the discussion, you've been hearing the debate, but I'm sure rentals are cheaper in Noida. But is there not enough commercial space? Are developers not taking the right steps on creating the right kind of office infrastructure?
The answer is probably has already been given by Sameer, that the kind of supply that there is in NCR, grade A supply, and especially Gurgaon, is quite expensive as compared to equivalent quality of space available, say, in a Bangalore.
But why not create it in Noida? Why have the Noida developers not created
in spite of the best efforts of the government of UP, still carries an image of UP. I don't know how what the fundamentals or the facts behind that situation is. I don't think it's very different from anywhere else in the country. But big MNCs or corporates are still hesitant to venture into Noida for setting up their headquarters. It has emerged as a preferred destination for ITES, but not IT and not their main offices.
Okay.
So Noida does suffer from that handicap.
All right, Sanjay Dutt, very quickly, why couldn't Noida seize this opportunity? If Gurgaon's become too expensive, what happened? What went wrong with the Noida story? Or Faridabad? Faridabad, you've already highlighted there's a complete lack of infrastructure, but what about Noida? It has great infrastructure.
So clearly, while everybody knows that it was a perception which actually caused the damage initially, but subsequently, as businesses have already invested in Gurgaon, and there is the international airport, there is this investment on the highway, there is this incubation of space, and the connectivity with the West Delhi and migration coming to Gurgaon because of availability of better overall work opportunities, has triggered something which happened 5-6 years ago and is kind of building on it. And it takes time. I'm not saying Noida will never see opportunity or growth in the times to come. It will. But for now, it's Gurgaon which has taken the lead, and that's helping the cause and going further. But I think eventually, I have seen many IT companies who were under cost pressures, and they have a very large presence, and they have looked at Noida because it is affordable. It is quality real estate space. And there are a lot of developers who actually became very big out of Noida, and now they're in a dilemma because they see clearly Gurgaon taking a lead versus Noida, and they don't see that much future. Also, Noida created just too much of land. So when the government came out with the infrastructure, Taj Expressway, JP was given the contract and thousands of acres were actually allocated. Suddenly there was a lot of land to build. Then the government came out with its own auctions of land, and therefore suddenly the prices just couldn't grow, and investor didn't see the upside. So everything which was supposed to add to the advantage of Noida became a deterrent from the investor's point of view because they don't see the upside. In fact, the high prices of Gurgaon is attracting the investors there. That's where one of the top 3 foreign developers, Hines, Ascendas, and Tishman, when they set up their large office project, they've set up in Gurgaon and not Noida. And that's the story, because that's the first mover advantage, you can say, for Gurgaon, and maybe Noida will catch up in the times to come.
All right, Sameer has a point, very quick, because we need to go to the Pune market.
It's clearly been seen in Bangalore that most of the IT development that is happening is proximity to the airport. Gurgaon enjoys that proximity. For any IT
you're
hub,
saying till Noida doesn't have its own airport,
that's going to be a
it's
big
going to
situation.
be a big deterrent.
The second big deterrent is that the IT industry also enjoys a large female workforce, and the law and order perception of Noida is extremely poor.
Absolutely. I think we've, Sameer, between you and Sanjay, you've summed this up very well in terms of why Noida's lost out the race and perhaps may not do a catch up in a long, long time to come. So, if I look at the project launches situation, Bangalore has taken the top spot with the highest number of new launches, and this is 2014 over 2013, accounting for 20% of total project launches in India's top 14 cities, and it also has the best absorption. Pune takes the second position. All three MMR markets or cities figure in the top 6. Sujay Kalele, we are going to move from Bangalore and NCR and bring in your special markets or your areas of focus, which is MMR and Pune. So let's start with Pune. Noida's loss, Gurgaon's loss has been Pune's gain, hasn't it?
Absolutely. I think, over the last couple of years, it has steadily grown. Absorption has been pretty decent. New launches have been pretty decent. And I think what has contributed to the overall growth and health of the market are that, the deliveries also have been reasonably on time. So I think that continues. I think key point that is coming out of discussion of all the experts is the fact that how much is the confidence of the buyer in that particular market. And I think Pune developers have done reasonably well on that count by, delivering on promises and, not seeing extraneous delays as far as project deliveries go. I think part of the reason also has been, for healthy absorption has been, we have not seen irrational increase in pricing, and only in areas where infrastructure development has happened have we seen actually prices increase. Inflation adjusted price appreciation has been positive only in those particular areas. So I think out and out Pune has been doing very well, and this year also, if you look at April sales, they have been reasonably well as compared to some of the past months.
Fair enough. So you mentioned the absorption data. So let's also look at what has happened between 2013 and 2014. 14 cities which were mapped in PropEquity data saw a decline in absorption figures. No surprises there. It's been a tough market for real estate 2014 over last year. But South has which markets? It has Bangalore, Chennai. Chennai, in fact, has been a dark horse in this entire story, and I'm going to come back and talk to the analysts and, of course, experts here. South has maintained the lead. So that's Chennai, Bangalore and Hyderabad, 3 markets with the least drop in absorption, 17%. MMR, 23% drop. And NCR, we've already said at the top of the rundown, 53% has been the drop in NCR. It could also be because the supply in NCR was the largest as well. So there was a huge amount of supply. In fact, NCR market probably was larger than all these 3 markets put together.
That's
no?
not true. We did an analysis that NCR and MMR region and the south region of Bangalore, Chennai and Hyderabad were almost equal. From 34% to 31% was the average in supply. It's just that the new launches have, the absorption has declined because new launches have declined sharply in NCR. Because everybody is trying to now focus on construction. And the second reason is that the new launches in NCR happen on plans so that they can extract money from the consumers quickly. And when they know sales are not happening, they are not motivated to launch a project because land is large over here. So capital invested in land is also a lot more.
All right. Okay. So I need to decipher that in a much simpler manner because some of what Sameer said has gone above my head. We're going to come back. There's so much more data in terms of what's happening in various parts of the country. Unsold stock, we already know. We'll flash them as we talk about it. But just to leave you with some of this data, which is really, really important, Western region alone accounts for more than 45% of the total 7.6 lakh of unsold stock in the 14 cities. So maybe absorption has been the deepest fall in NCR. But when it comes to unsold stock, it's not NCR because the supply also kind of halted here. New project launches halted here. It's Mumbai region specifically. I don't think that's Pune, Sameer, isn't it? It's Mumbai specifically which has had the...
It includes Pune as well.
It includes Pune, but the culprit could be mostly MMR markets. Thane recorded the most numbers of unsold units, closely followed by Bangalore, and NCR's inventory, as we've already said, did go up. So we're going to come back and discuss that, and also what's happening to price rise. So we keep saying these markets aren't good, Bangalore is the best market, but when it comes to price rise, the picture changes completely. In a moment, we are back with top 10 cities when it comes to investing or looking at real estate and its future growth in India.